Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And hearing a crowd going by, he inquired what was happening. They told him, Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. He shouted, Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me. The people walking in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent. But he kept calling out all the more, Son of David, have pity on me. Then Jesus stopped and ordered that he be brought to him. And when he came near, Jesus asked him, What do you want me to do for you? He replied, Lord, please let me see. Jesus told him, Have sight, your faith has saved you. He immediately received his sight and followed him, giving glory to God. When they saw this, all the people gave praise to God. The Gospel of the Lord. When the phrase passing by comes up, it doesn't mean that Jesus is walking through or walking by, but it means he wants to reveal himself to people. He wants people to have a revelation about who he is. And this blind man, he cries out, Son of David, have pity on me. He is the only person in this scene who really sees. For St. Luke, the ability to see has everything to do with faith and trust in Jesus. And so we look at the world through that lens. And this is what he is inviting all the people who are around. As this blind man shouts, he's inviting them to put on their faith glasses so they could see carefully. This blind beggar, he sees, what he sees is he needs Jesus. He absolutely needs Jesus. But people rebuke him. But the blind man will not give in. The people are telling him to be silent, but he will not be silent. Here is the voice of the cancel culture that even was experienced in Jesus' time. And you also see that cancel culture could be good too. You also see that in the first reading from the book of Maccabees, where a king had desired to cancel the Jewish culture. The king wrote, all should be one and abandoned their particular cultures. We see some of that even today. Catholics are being asked to be silent, not only asked, but bullied into it. I was reading something last week about a pro-abortion rally. There were 4 things that were inhibiting and restricting the rights to abortion. The one that was most important was the Catholic Church, standing strong for life and refusing to be part of a cancel culture. And like this blind man shouting even in the middle of the crowd. The blind man could see that Jesus is the cure. And among us, especially with the pro-life movement, we see that Jesus is the cure. He is indeed the cure. And so we must do the same as the blind man. We don't have to be violent. We simply have to live our faith, you could say, out loud, to be good Catholics, faithful Catholics, who see that we need Jesus. Faithful Catholics who see the need for the Holy Mass and the Eucharist. Faithful Catholics who see the need for reconciliation because we do have our shortcomings. And with that, we cry out. We cry out so Jesus can heal our blindness. And if we do this properly, then others will see what happens to us. They will see what we do and how we do it. And like this blind man, whose reaction to receiving his sight was to follow Jesus. And perhaps the same can happen to those who see us as living witnesses of what it's like to not let the cancel culture influence us, but yet immediately follow Jesus and be concerned with him and him alone. The blind man immediately followed Jesus, and we must have such immediacy.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui aquam merum isti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia.